Thanks, Leland.
All right. We want to draw your attention to some strong words out of Israel tonight. The defense minister there said Iran violated all of the guidelines set in the now-defunct nuclear deal, adding that military action may be needed to stop the Ayatollahs. It comes days after a deadly drone strike on an Israeli-managed tanker. Joining us now, National Security Analyst Dr. Rebecca Grant. Always good to see you, ma'am. These words by the Israelis were vague, but they were pointed. How much of this is the Israelis sort of challenging the Biden administration, do something or we will?
Israel is really laying it out. They want to see some action. They've also told us a lot about who in Iran launched the UAV and so forth. But there's more to this because Great Britain is also calling for potential military action. Their Chief of Defense Staff, Sir Nick Carter, has said we may have to do something, take military action in order to restore some deterrence in the North Arabian Gulf.
We would need all night to list out all of the bad things that the Iranians have done. Fair to say they have far more blood on their hands, American blood on their hands, than the 9/11 terrorists do. What does the Iranians have to do to get the Biden administration's attention in a bad way, that the Biden administration would be willing to act in a way that would restore deterrence?
Well, and here's one more thing. We know Iran is enriching uranium up to 60%, and we know that the quiet talks in Geneva are stuck right now. So I think this has really crossed a line because in that attack on the tanker last week, 2 people were killed. One was a British and one was Romanian. We have not seen deaths from this before, although Iran is responsible for a lot of death and mayhem in the region. But I think we are very close because this is so significant that Iran now has this new capability to use a kamikaze drone on just about any type of target.
Well, the Iranians and the Ayatollah knows better than just about anybody that the Biden administration's desperate for this nuclear deal. Do they feel as though they can act pretty much with impunity?
Well, they are acting with impunity now, and remember, this is the 4th time they've done a kamikaze drone strike just this summer. The other 3 were against bases in Iraq where the U.S. has forces stationed. So they are really provoking it, and I think I agree with the British at this point. It is time to look at some retaliation options to get Iran's attention and get them to knock it off.
Well, it tells you something when you're having to look to the Brits to be the ones calling for military action. Dr. Grant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
60 years ago today, former President Obama was born, but with a mega party, now scaled back and a new